Good morning, all of you all. Welcome to the new chapter of Bio. In the last class, we had completed with the living world, and now we are starting with a new chapter, which is going to be called as Cell, the unit of life. So, in the last entire sessions that whatever we had conducted, we had seen the difference between living and non-living, and also we had seen something called as the characteristics of living and and something called as details of what is the format of classification and how to identify the new species, and all those things are like whatever we had discussed in the last class. So yeah, beta. So what will happen now is, like in continuation with the same particular, chapter, this chapter is also associated. So this was the thing that I was trying to tell you all, that what we wanted from the students' point of view to, have the things changed in our previous experiences. So wherever I was working earlier, there was like go in the chronological order, go in the index wala order, which is not related, which is not correlated. So here, yeah, Krishna, I'll let you know it's going to be there, but not immediately. It will take some time because there are many students who are joining new. So we'll have to take care of their portion also, and we'll be taking care of all these things. Okay, don't worry, it's fine, my dear, you have cleared your doubt, it's okay. Fine. So we'll be doing about it, no doubt. But wait for some time, right? Yeah. So even I had received some on my mobile, my WhatsApp. I had received some requests regarding this thing, apna PPTs. So you won't be getting those as well, beta. They are already like I have already shown you all the PPTs, like that entire chapter. So you will get it very soon, right? You will get it. You will definitely get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are just, like bridging up with the different batches and combining them. Na? So you will get everything. You don't have to worry about it, right? Yeah. So your, my dears, what I was talking about was, yeah, I was talking about the connection. So when we learn something in a connected way, right, then there is some meaning to whatever we are learning. Otherwise, just to complete the portion, just for the sake of completing the portion, if we go ahead, you cannot correlate the things. See, for example, I start with the living world, right, and all of a sudden I start with something which is completely irrelevant to that first chapter. Then how would you correlate the things, राइट? तो एक दूसरे के साथ कनेक्शन होना चाहिए ना। जब कनेक्टेड चीजें होती है तो पढ़ने में भी मजा आता है। जैसे कि अगर आप कोई सीरियल देख रहे हो, है? अगर आप कोई सीरियल देख रहे हो, कुछ एक एपिसोड कुछ एक चीज के बारे में बताया, और दूसरा जो एपिसोड दिखाया वो कुछ अजीब टाइप का दूसरा ही कुछ बताया जिसका फर्स्ट से कुछ रिलेशन ही नहीं है, तो मजा आएगा क्या देखने में? है ना? कुछ स्टोरी लाइन समझेगी नहीं, देन अगेन आफ्टर 4 एपिसोड्स वो लोग उसका कनेक्शन दिखाएँगे, फर्स्ट एपिसोड का, तो हैप्पैज़ार्ड हो जाता है बेटा। So we don't want to go in a haphazard way, we want to go in a very systematic way, and we have to understand the connections between the chapters, how they are correlated. Here we'll be talking about the correlations between, the plant as well as the animals, as well as chemistry, as well as physics, how everything is connected together. So these connections are going to be seen in our, chapter. So we have connected these things. So the cell unit of life, this is the chapter which is not going to be your immediate second chapter in your textbooks. Okay, but definitely it is connected. So I'm starting with the new chapter, the name of which is going to be cell unit of life. Okay, so we have seen what is life, we have seen what are living organisms. So let us understand something, that individual organisms are nothing but they are groups of cells, right? So these groups of cells come together. Each cell is going to be a factory. It's a unique factory in itself, and it is going to, uh, perform many things in its own world. So one cell is actually a factory on its own, and then how these all come together. No, no, I have not started presenting, but I'll start. And how these cells come together, they form tissues, and these tissues will then come together and they will perform together as organs and organ systems and an individual. Correct? Got it? So this is what we want to talk about in detail. Again, as I say, might be, you have learned about these things in your previous standards, 8, 9, 10. But definitely, I'm sure that those who know, it would be a revision. Those who do not recollect, understand newly. Okay? Yes, my dear. We are going to go in a very specific systematic order, which will be one thing connected to another. I won't teach you haphazardly anything. ये चैप्टर उठा के पढ़ा लिया, वो उठा के पढ़ा लिया, ऐसा नहीं जाएंगे बेटा. एकदम सिस्टमैटिकली जाएंगे ना, तो तुम्हें कनेक्शंस लगते जाएंगे, एंड इट विल बी वेरी इजी देन. इट विल बी वेरी इजी देन टू अंडरस्टैंड. Okay, shall we start? Shall I'll now start the chapter for you all. The name of the chapter, of course, is going to be what? Cell unit of life. So here you can see two cells very clearly, animal cell and the plant cell. And in this particular chapter, we are predominantly going to talk about these animal cells and the plant cells, right? Now, what are these animal cells? What are these plant cells? उससे भी ज़्यादा same Sanika, same beta, same. Yeah, it's a part of your 11th standard syllabus. Okay, this is going to be found in your 11th standard textbooks, right? NCRT also and GTB also. 11th standard. Okay, so the two cells which can be clearly seen over here will be talking in detail about both of them. So again, this particular chapter will not purely belong to botany, neither would purely belong to zoology, right? So even our living worlds, na beta, even yes, very good Pushkar, yes, it's going to be prokaryotes, eukaryotes, and all those things. So even in our previous chapter, we couldn't demark that chapter as वो botany का है कि वो zoology का है. It was common. Even this chapter is going to be a common chapter, which is going to involve botany also, zoology also. Is going to involve a cell which is going to be living. Okay, got it? So let us understand that what exactly is all about it. Cell is called as a structural and functional unit of life of all living organisms capable of independent existence, and they can perform a function of life. So when it's going to perform all functions of life, that means whatever we had studied, growth, reproduction, metabolism, response to stimuli, all those four characters which we had seen them idea, they all are going to be a product of what? Cell, individual cell. Okay, got it? Yeah. When we talk about who was the one who found out, who was the one who found out? Okay, it was Robert Hooke. It was Robert Hooke. So Robert Hooke discovered cell in the year 1665. Look at it, 1665. This is 2021. Too long back, right? Yeah. 11th, my dear. Maybe it's 11th. 11th. Yeah. So Robert Hooke discovered this in the year 1665, and he examined thin slices of cork under his self-made microscope. You know what is cork? Cork is something, of course, cork is a part of plant. Okay. So just the way we have got bark, we have got something called as cork. Okay. But what is exactly cork is something which we will be doing in the chapter called as anatomy of flowering plants. Okay. Yeah, it's like that only. Exactly. So you're perfectly right. We have got bottles which will be having those woody corks. Okay, so that is going to be a cork. So what he did, he used thin slices of the cork. He like sliced it out very thin slices, and he observed it under the microscope. Now this microscope was something which was made by him. This microscope was something which was made by him. Okay, now, he observed this under his self-made microscope, which had a magnification of 42 times larger cells. So, if the size of that cork case cell was X, Under his self-made microscope, he could observe it at 42x. Okay, so 42 times of its original size. What the was the magnification? You've got those magnifying glass. देखे आपने सीआईडी वीआईडी देखते हो क्या वो सीआईडी में कोई एक बंदा रहता है ना, उसका नाम नहीं मुझे पता, वो हमेशा ये लेके घूमता रहता है वो, कोई तो हाँ शाहरुख यस विद योर बिकॉज यू नो इन माय हाउस आल्सो ये सीआईडी बंदे चलते ही रहते, आते जाते चालू ही रहते. सो I don't know whoever Tarika, Sarunke, that is seen by my son. He is also almost of your age only. वो वही देखता रहता है बहुत बार. तो वो जो होता है ना मैग्नीफाइंग लेंस या ग्लास जो आप कहते हो, वैसे ही उसने एक उसका खुद का माइक्रोस्कोप बनाया था. And that microscope was showing the image how many times more? 42 times more. Now, my dears, these things have not been mentioned in your books, huh? And they ask you questions. So, be clear about these things. Okay, the cork scene was dead bark of Spanish oak. The scientific name of this oak plant or oak tree is Quercus suber. Quercus means oak. Okay, Quercus का मतलब होता है oak, oak का tree. ठीक है. So it was a Spanish oak. उसका उन्होंने वो cork का thin slice बनाकर he was observing under the microscope. And what did he see? He saw, he saw that these cork cells, how they look like, and what was their morphology was something that he saw. Yeah, it's a plant tissue, my dear. You're right, Vaishnavi. You're perfectly right. Right? It's a plant tissue. Then Robert Hooke coined the term cellula. What was the term that he coined? Cellula for honeycomb like structure. You know honeycomb? You have seen honeycombs at least in the uh, on TV or something. देखा है honeycomb? How does it look like? It's going to have many compartments, right? ऐसे छोटे छोटे polygonal compartments होते हैं उसमें honeybees के. Yeah, they are hexagonal to polygonal. Okay, so just like honeycomb ना, Marathi we call it पोळं. मधमाशीचं पोळं as what we call it. और हिंदी में हम उसको कहते हैं छत्ता, right? English we call it as honeycomb. So he could observe this honeycomb like structure under the microscope. Okay, actually what he was observing was the dead cells of the plant. Okay, that was different. He has made his own microscope. Who discovered? Yes, you're right. It was your Jensen who discovered, but who made? He was the one. He did not use that. He made his own microscope and he used it. No, 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 no. He did not discover. Okay, got it. So he only saw the dead cells. Okay, he published his findings in the book called as Micrographia. If you can see, I have highlighted or I have made it bold. Micrographia. This particular name had come se come 7 to 8 times in the last 20 years of your competitive exams. So be careful with this. Okay. Fine. So this is going to be your book called as Micrographia. Fine. Now, whenever it's okay, my dear, no issues. So when this Micrographia was published, he had put everything that he had studied with respect to the cork. Okay, got it? Who was he? Robert Hooke. Remember his name because there is going to be one more Robert who is going to come and eat away your head. Okay, so his name is Robert Hooke. Microscopes. To see cells clearly, a microscope is required. Larger cells can be seen through simple microscopes, but to see smaller cells, we require compound microscopes. Okay. Simple microscopes, compound microscopes. What are the differences? Just see. Simple microscope can magnify image from 50 times to 100 times, but a compound microscope can magnify the image up to 1000 times or more. So original size से 1000 times more size अगर हमें देखनी है, then we have to use a compound microscope. Okay. In the microscope, we use in the lab or our laboratory, a beam of light is used to make the things visible. And hence, a light beam is going to be, or even your sunlight, okay, it's got a mirror, and you can adjust the mirror so that the sunlight falls on the mirror, and you can see a visible spectrum which will fall on the glass slide, which will make the things very clear for observation. So such type of microscopes which are going to have light uh, you know directed onto them, such type of microscopes are going to be called as light microscopes. Okay, so this particular diagram that you all are uh, seeing is going to be what your light microscope. So here you can see this. This is your light microscope. You can see your light source. You can see the label light source. So this is going to be the light source, means there's going to be any source. It can be a mirror also, and the light will be directed directly over here. This is going to be the stage. This is called as a stage. Okay, and on the stage you keep a microscope ka slide. It's a rectangular glass slide, and at the center of the glass slide, whatever we have to observe is generally placed. Okay, and then this is going to be like these. You can see one, two, three. They are called as objectives. What are they called as? Objectives. The objectives would be having lenses, and the three lenses will be present over here. You can see three in numbers. One is 10x, one is 45x, and one is 100x. So accordingly will be the magnifications. Okay, along with here you can see these are the eyepieces, right? Right, or we call them as ocular lens. So there are two lenses, one in the eyepiece that we are going to observe, and one through the lens which we are going to be adjusting it. Okay, yes, 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 it is standardized. Only three: 10x, 45x, and 100x. Okay, on this particular light microscopes. In your schools, you might have seen this, but generally you might have seen only two lenses, and एक जगह पर है ना वो hole रहता है. They don't put that lens because 100x वाली lens थोड़ी ज़्यादा costly होती है. So yeah, it's light, it's light, it's light. Yes, my dear, it's light and compound. It's compound. Okay. So ये lens का magnification multiplied by ये lens का magnification will give you 1,000 times better magnification. Okay, so this is how the microscope looks like in general. The fine adjustments, coarse adjustments, you have to adjust to see the image. Okay, huh. The result will be also be sure, my dear. I'm sure all the best. All the best, beta. God bless you. Okay, and give me a very good, news later on. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's what I told Krishna, that this is going to be multiplied by, okay? So even this is going to have its own magnification multiplied by the 45, 10, or 100. Fine. So accordingly, the image will be enhanced that many times. Fine. Well, then, yeah, to see the interior of the cell, these microscopes are of no use. To see the interior of the cell, we require still high power wale microscopes. That is going to be called as your electron microscopes. What we call them as electron microscopes. Okay, so these are higher versions. In electron microscope, look at the magnifying capacity. It can magnify the image up to how many times? Come on, you can see the figure is right in front of you. How many zeros? So how many times it's going to magnify? Exactly 5 lakh times. So imagine how much, like clarity you will get to see the internal structure of the cell. See, cell itself is so small. I'll show you the size of the cell also in the next slide. Okay. The cell itself is going to be very small, right? And on top of that, we are going to see the internals of the cell. So it has to be really very high magnifying, right? So this magnification can only be achieved by something called as electron microscopes. In your first year medicine, those who want to head ahead with MBBS, for the first year medicine, you will be having a paper called as microbiology. And in microbiology, you will be having all these things in details. You will be using an electron microscope, which are again of two types, that will be taught to you later on in your first year of MBBS. So the two types of microscopes are TEM and SCM. that is transmission electron microscope and scanning electron microscope. ट्रांसमिशन वाला 2D इमेज बनाता है और स्कैनिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप जो होता है वो 3D इमेज बनाता है. दैट्स इट. ओके, सो पावर में थोड़ा डिफरेंस है ऑफ कोर्स, बट स्टिल you all will be using those. You all will be using those, okay, in your first year MBBS. So anyways, so you know we have got light microscopes, we have got simple microscope, we have got compound microscope, we have electron microscope. Under compound, we have got light microscopes. Okay. Then we have got something called as simple में dissecting microscope, जो cockroach के dissection के लिए हम लोग use करते थे. छोटा होता है, उसमें लेंस वेंस नहीं होती है, एक ऐसा बड़ा मैग्नीफाइंग ग्लास होता है एंड यू कैन यूज इट फॉर डाइसेक्टिंग लार्ज ऑर्गेनिजम्स लाइक अर्थवर्म और कॉकरोच. ओके, सो दिस इज द लाइक माइक्रोस्कोपी की थोड़ी सी बैकग्राउंड दे रही हूँ, बिकॉज whatever we are going to study in this chapter now has to be observed via these microscopes. They cannot be seen with our naked eyes. So we have to know that this is your microscope. Yeah, it's transmission electron microscope, which comes under your electron wala. And second is scanning electron microscope. So first year MBBS, you will be doing it, of course. They tell you everything. Huh. What is your doubt, beta? We have to see the microscope and dissection will be the yeah. Same time, beta. Okay. So nowadays you don't have these. That's what I told. Now you all are lucky, unlucky. I don't know. But during our times, we had dissected all different types of animals. So now they have banned everything. Nowadays, animal rights people will not allow you. Okay. So as I said, the cell itself is very small. So you can see what is small, and how large. So you can see types of cells. My dears, these are all extra points, not there in your textbooks and frequently asked in your examinations. So be very careful with these things. Okay. Longest cell is nerve cell of giraffe, which is more than 1 meter in length, while in human beings, the nerve cell is approximately 90 centimeters. Okay. Yeah, my dear, you will have to remember the sizes. I can't help it. Okay. At least, try to remember the largest wala, smallest wala. Okay. So longest is going to be your nerve cell, which is called as neuron. Our neurons long होते हैं ना, कितने लंबे हैं देखो, 90 सेंटीमीटर्स, अप्रोक्सीमेटली 1 मीटर के करीब करीब, है ना. इतने लंबे लंबे न्यूरॉन्स भी हमारे बॉडी में हैं. Largest cell is going to be the egg of an ostrich. It's the largest cell. Okay. Isn't it? Look, no, it's going to be from your. It's a part of your CNS, part of your central nervous system. Okay. So when I'll be teaching you all about the CNS, I'll be dealing in detail about all these things. And this is the next chapter. मतलब coming एक दो chapters जो हम करेंगे, उसमें tissues का chapter है. So that time also you'll come to know about them. Yeah. So the largest egg is that of going to be of the ostrich. So largest cell is going to be ostrich's egg, which is 17 centimeters by 13.5 centimeters approximately. No need of remembering this value. It may vary. It may vary. So just remember, longest अगर पूछा है, so it is going to be your neural cell. Largest पूछा है, so it is going to be the egg of an ostrich. What happens is, we don't see what is being asked. We just look, like overlook the key points and we answer. What happens? लॉन्गेस्ट सेल, आपके दिमाग में लॉन्गेस्ट आता ही नहीं है, आप पढ़ रहे हो लॉन्गेस्ट लेकिन दिमाग में आता है लार्जेस्ट, आप ऑस्ट्रिच का सेल एग मार्क करके आ जाओगे. ओके. तो वो ऑस्ट्रिच का सेल भी नहीं है, वो ऑस्ट्रिच के एग है. ऑस्ट्रिच egg is going to be the largest cell. Even in one of the examinations, they had given the ostrich cell to be the largest cell, and many students marked it. Yes, ostrich cell is the largest. Ostrich cell largest नहीं है. Ostrich का egg जो है ना, it is the largest cell. Okay. Smallest cell is PPLO, that is pleuropneumonia-like organisms, which are also called as mycoplasma. So the next chapter that I'm going to deal with after I complete this chapter, the next chapter that I'm going to deal with is going to be having these mycoplasma ka study. Okay. So the third chapter will contain mycoplasma. So what is PPLO? What is pleuropneumonia-like organism? What is mycoplasma? उसका साइज, उसका शेप, उसका हमें कितना क्या तकलीफ देता है, कैसे तकलीफ देता है, everything is there in that third chapter which I'll be dealing with you. Okay. Smallest plant cell is also mycoplasma. Now, what is why pleuropneumonia like दिया है अलग से और plant अलग से? So mycoplasma is going to be a connecting link between plants and animals. It is going to have certain characteristics like plants and certain like animals. Okay. Largest plant cell, Acetabularia. Acetabularia is an algae. ओके एंड दिस एल्गे का इतना ऐसा बड़ा सा एक सेल होता है 10 सेंटीमीटर्स. इमेजिन, लुक एट द साइज. माइकोप्लाज्मा का साइज देखिए आप, 0.1 म्यू माइक्रोन्स. एंड व्हाट इज द लार्जेस्ट प्लांट सेल? एसिटाबुलारिया, व्हिच इज 10 सेंटीमीटर डायमीटर. कितना वाइड रेंज है देखो. Longest plant cell is going to be the remi fiber. Remi fibers, you know, they are used for making the ropes. ये जो ropes बनते हैं ना, उसमें ये remi fibers use होते हैं. So these are, you know, like previously asked questions which I have brought together under the types of cells. Okay, so these were asked, कभी ना कभी ये पूछे थे previous years में. So I have, you know, brought everything together in one particular slide. So largest, longest, animal, plant, smallest, what is it? पूरा डिटेल आपको एक स्लाइड में मिल जाएगा. ओके, इससे ज्यादा कुछ अभी तक पूछा है नहीं. So don't bang your heads for something which is, you know, like not asked till now. हाँ, these things which I've asked, I have jotted down. Okay, so these are your types of. Now let's come to the cell theory. Now this cell theory is a very renowned one, and you might have heard about it, that it was put forward by Shieldon and Shawn and all those things. But what are the type of questions that are going to be asked on them is something that we have to understand. Okay. In the year 1838, Malthai Schilden, who's a German botanist, examined a large number of plants and observed that all plants are composed of different kinds of cells which form the tissue of the plant. To read, it is very simple. Look at the questions that were asked earlier. First question that they asked was, dash a German botanist. You know Schilden, but instead of Malthius, they had changed it to Theodore. They had changed it to Peterson. Alag-alag naam diya tha. So you should know it is Malthius Schilden. First thing. Then in another examination, they had asked Malthius Schilden, a dash botanist, examined a large number of plants. So you should know he was a German botanist. He belonged to Germany. We tend to neglect these things, beta. Okay. So this German botanist is again going to be an important point. The third question that was asked was, Malthius Schilden, a German dash, examined large number of plants. Option में botanist था, zoologist था, microbiologist था, biochemist था. So microbiologist and biochemist leave apart, but there is always a confusion that who was a botanist and who was a zoologist. So Schilden was a botanist and Shawn was a zoologist. Okay, but कहानी में twist है इधर. इधर कहानी में twist है. वो क्या twist है वो आगे समझेगा ही. Right? So you have to remember all these points. That Malthius Schilden, German botanist, he was observing large number of plants. And what did he observe? That all plants are composed of different kinds of cells which form the tissue of the plant. That's okay. That was the basic thing that Schilden had put forward. Now see, about the same time, Theodor Shawn, a British zoologist. Now see, he was from Germany. ये बंदा जो है ये कहाँ से है बेटा? ब्रिटिश है ये. Okay, so he is a British and he is a zoologist. Okay, so Theodor Shawn, a British zoologist, studied different types of animal cells. उसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? जो botanist है वो plant cell study करेगा, जो zoologist है वो animal cell study करेगा. So what is big in that? There is something big. See, He observed the animal cells and reported that cells had a thin outer layer, which is today known as the plasma membrane. So we know every cell is going to have a membrane, that is your plasma membrane, which was seen by Shaw. Okay. He also concluded, he also concluded, based on his studies on plant tissues. Who? Sean. He was a zoologist, but he was also observing plants for comparison. What is the difference between animals and what is the difference between plant cells? So he observed the animal cells and he also studied the plant cells. And what did he conclude? So Theodor Schwann concluded, based on his studies on plant tissue, that the presence of cell wall is a unique character of plant cells. So though Shieldon was studying plants, he did not find out the difference between plant cell and animal cell. It was Sean who was studying the animal cells, and to understand the difference between plant and animal, he also studied the plant cells. That made a clear cut distinction that plant cell is going to have an additional gift paper on it, which, plant cell has got an additional gift paper on it, which animal cell does not have. Okay, so animal cells going to have a normal paper wrapped around it, which we call it as plasma membrane, which the plant cells also would have. But on top of that, along with the plasma membrane, it's also going to have the gift pack. What is that? The cell wall, right? Yeah, actually. Okay, now understood? So, on the basis of this, Sean proposed the hypothesis that the bodies of animals and plants are composed of cells and products of cells. Now, what are the products of cells, my dears? Do you all remember metabolism that we had done in the last class? Catabolism and anabolism, right? Can you all tell me? Can you all tell me the products of cells with respect to breakdown of carbohydrates? What are the products that will be, you know, given in the cell or present in the cell? Very good, Pushkar. Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. All of you are like giving me the right answers. Great. Very nice. Yeah. Perfect. Right? It's glucose. Okay. Can anyone tell me what would be the product of the cell after the catabolism of proteins? Very nice. Very nice. Very good. Very good. All of you have given me the right answers, Vita. Yes, it's going to be your amino acids. Similarly, what would be the products of the cell? Listen to the question. What would be the products of the cell that will be utilizing that will be utilizing the amino acids to form a structural protein of our hair? I had given you this example, so I'm asking you. Yes, very nice, exactly. Okay, ना yeah, it's keratin. Yes, perfect beta, बराबर है, बिल्कुल सही. Now, what do you understand by this? That this was Sean who said that there are products, there are cells, and we have got products of the cell, or we call it as the products thereof. That is the language that is given in your books. Products thereof. Products thereof means the products of the catabolic activity or the products of the anabolic activity. Did you all get this? Any doubt in this particular slide, beta? 1838 also can be asked. No. Generally, only hallmark years are asked. Hallmark means कुछ बहुत बड़ा कुछ इन्वेंट होता है तो 1838 नहीं अभी तक नहीं पूछा है. Okay. Any doubts, beta? Can I move ahead? Yeah. Okay. Fine. However, in this theory, which was put forward by Shieldon and Sean, as we always say, though it was Sean who had really done the good job, right? However, in this theory, there was no explanation about formation of new cells. How the new cells are formed was still a question mark, right? So it was Rudolf Virchow who explained for the first time that new cells are formed by cell divisions of the pre-existing cells. And he called, in his language, it is called as omnis cellula e cellula. Omnis cellula e cellula. Okay, got it. So, who proposed omnis cellula cellula? Rudolf Virchow. A question. Rudolf Virchow proposed dash. What did he propose? Omnis cellula cellula. Okay. Yeah, what's your doubt, beta? No issues, my dear. It's okay, Ruby. No issues. Okay. Years not necessary. Only those which I tell you, you will have to remember. Okay. As of now, it's okay. Fine. Yeah. So omnis cellula cellula का मतलब समझ में आया? Got it? Okay. Fine. German. In later years, advanced research in cytology led to modification of cell theory, which is today known as modern cell theory. So, because of the advancement in technology, now the cell theory, which was proposed by Sheldon and Shawn and added on with Rudolf Virchow, has now been modified to certain postulates. You know what is postulates? What are postulates, beta? Assumptions, as we say. Okay, postulates का मतलब होता है assumptions. So certain postulates have been put forward. What are they? All living organisms are made up of cells. Of course, living cells arises from pre-existing cells, as said by Rudolf Virchow. A cell is the structural and functional unit of life. स्ट्रक्चरल एंड फंक्शनल का मतलब क्या होता है ना बेटा, उसका अपना एक खुद का स्ट्रक्चर है, उसकी अपनी एक खुद की आइडेंटिटी है, राइट? एंड इट इज फंक्शनल, इट इज गोइंग टू परफॉर्म मेटाबॉलिज्म, therefore it is called as functional. Okay, total activities of cells are responsible for activity of an organism. So see, when we say ये मैंने किया, ये मैं करती हूँ, ये मैं करता हूँ, ये मैं क्या है? ये मैं कुछ नहीं है. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said, my dears, that these are the things which are not given in your textbooks. These are added things because they have been asked previously. Okay, right? So that is the reason I'm doing everything in detail. As I said in my first lecture only, I had told you all that I'll make your bio so strong as a subject that you can give any examination. Any examination, you would be in the capacity to answer every question. I'm not saying this is only for NEET or this is only for boards or this is only for MHCT or this is only for KVPY. ऐसे नहीं बोल रही हूँ मैं आपका इतना बेस स्ट्रॉन्ग कराऊंगी ना बायो का बेटा कि आप कोई भी एग्जाम देने के काबिल हो जाओगे. You won't be having any doubt. Okay. Yeah, of course, this is for AIMS. All these are for AIMS. These questions have been asked in your AIMS, AFMC, JIPMER, Rajasthan PMT, Kerala CET, MHCET. ये सारे वो सबको मिलाकर मैं पढ़ाती हूँ बेटा, together. Okay, so you would be now, so you don't have AIMS के लिए अलग exam. You don't have different exam. You don't have any qualifying exam for AIMS. You will be appearing for NEET and you will get selected for AIMS. The same exam is going to be valid. The NEET exam is only valid for your AIMS admissions as well. So don't worry about it. So that is the reason I'm doing so much in detail. If you look at the textbook, nothing. Okay, superficial things are given. Okay, so we have to do the things with the perspective that whatever is asked, I know it. Fine? Yeah. So here you can see that total activities of cells are responsible for activity of an entire organism. So whatever we say, ये मैंने किया, ये मैं करती हूँ, ये मेरे वजह से हुआ, ये उसके वजह से हुआ, ये वो कुछ नहीं है. जो भी है वो cells है. Who are actually working? Cells are actually working. Understood? Means what are they working for? Metabolic activities. They are continuously breaking things. They are continuously making things. Get it? Yeah. Cell shows transformation of energy. Yeah. Now, when I say transformation of energy, we have already seen in metabolism again how ATP is going to be synthesized and how heat energy is going to be liberated for maintaining our temperatures, body temperatures. है ना? So there I had already told you about both the things, and that is the reason I wanted to take up this particular chapter so that you get connected. Right? There should be some correlation, as I said. So cells show transformation of energy. Cells contain nucleic acids, which is going to be DNA and RNA, which is going to be present in the nucleus and the cytoplasm. So the cytoplasm will contain RNA, the nucleus would contain DNA. Plus, even the DNA will all the nucleus would also contain your RNAs as well. कौन सा RNA कब न्यूक्लियस के अंदर है ना, मस्त कहानी है, बहुत ही मस्त कहानी है, जो हमें 12th के सिलेबस में है बट पढ़नी तो है ही, right? So we'll be talking about that also in detail. Which you want me to explain the fifth point? Cells show transformation of energy. Yeah. So ATP and heat energy are the two forms of energy, right? So sometimes when our body is requiring more of ATP, that time the energy would be from heat also. It will be transformed into your ATP, that is your chemical energy. And sometimes if we don't require, it will be given out or dissipated as heat energy. So ट्रांसफॉर्म होती रहती है वो एक फॉर्म से अनदर फॉर्म में सेल के अंदर एज एंड व्हेन इट रिक्वायर्स. Okay, got it? Any difficulty in this particular slide? Any doubts? I'll go ahead. An overview of the cell. The onion cell, which is a typical plant cell, has a distinct cell wall as its outer boundary, and just within it lies the cell membrane. This particular thing is actually going to be done in your practicals. So your school, I mean your college practicals, na, there you would be actually doing these particular experiments. अगर college खुलेगा तो, नहीं तो फिलहाल के लिए theory, right? So if you actually see an onion cell ना, thin slice of onion लेना होता है and उसको observe करते हैं हम लोग under the microscope, and there you can very clearly see the cell wall and internal cell membrane. Very clearly you can see that. The cells of the human cheek and outer membrane as the delimiting structure of the cell also can be seen. Okay, purple color in the sense we add the dye. हम उसको में क्रिस्टल वॉयलेट नाम का एक डाई डाल के उसको देखते हैं. Yes, so it could be purple. अगर saffronin नाम का डाई डाल के देखेंगे तो it will appear as red. अगर basic fuchsin करके एक डाई आता है वो देखेंगे डाल के तो it will appear as pink. Methylene blue डालेंगे तो it will appear as blue. So there are many dyes which are available. So whatever dye you want to use for staining your slide, that color you will see. But it will be very clear. It will be very clear. Okay. That is for bacteria, beta. You are right, Pushkar, but that is for bacteria. This is for onion cells. So the cells of the human cheek. Now, if you see, we cannot scrape the human cheek, but early morning, na, like whenever you get up in the morning, you would have, felt a scum type of a thing in the internal walls of your cheek. ऐसा कुछ slimy ऐसा निकल आता है internally, बाहर से नहीं, internally. कभी experience करा है आपने? हाँ, तो वो जो cells होते हैं ना, those particular slimes which are going to be found, that has to be taken and that has to be stained. Even that will be, clearly showing the cell structure of animals, wherein there is no cell wall present. Only the cell membrane as a delimiting structure can be seen. Delimiting means boundary डालता है, बाउंड्री लाइन दिखता है, उसको हम कहते हैं डीलिमिटिंग. तो जैसे क्रिकेट में बाउंड्री के इधर एक वो रोप लगा रहता है ना बेटा, दैट इज अ डीलिमिटिंग स्ट्रक्चर. उसके बियॉन्ड चला गया बॉल तो इट्स लाइक 4 और व्हाटएवर, राइट? सो डीलिमिटिंग का मतलब होता है बाउंड्री. So in animal cell, the boundary is going to be made by whom? The cell membrane. And in plant cell, that is in onion cell that we see, you can see outer boundary as cell wall and internal there is going to be a cell membrane. Got it? Inside each cell, inside the cell, now we are moving inside the cell, okay? Inside each cell, there is a dense membrane bound structure called as nucleus. Now, let me tell you this fact, which many students are not aware of. That is, what we feel, there is only one cell membrane that is going to be present per cell. That is what we feel, right or wrong? सच बोलो, आज तक जो तुम्हें पढ़ाया गया है या आपने पढ़ा है, आपको क्या पता है बेटा कि हमारे सेल के ऊपर एक कवरिंग है जिसका नाम है सेल मेम्ब्रेन, right? But the fact is, my dear, the internal organelles. What do you mean by internal organelles? Oh, Shreya, congratulations, my dear. Heartiest congratulations. So, see, it's such a good news that I got just now. Your colleague of our masterclass, Shreya Thakkar, he has scored 95 in bio, and overall he has scored 93.6. He belongs to IGCSE board, so he has given his 10th standard examinations and he has got his marks. Heartiest congrats, my dear. Very good. So, where do you stay? Do you stay in and around Borivali? I'll come for party. I'll demand party from you then, huh? Ha, so fine. I stay at Borivali, so I can come down till Kandivali, no issues. Kidding, kidding. But whenever we'll meet, we'll definitely, celebrate. Whenever we meet. Okay, beta. Good. Very good. Keep it up. Well, others, you would be waiting ना हमें भी शायद मैम ऐसा बोलती तो कितना अच्छा होता लेकिन हमारी एग्जाम ही नहीं हुई है ना? Yeah. See, your friends are congratulating you now. You have in the afternoon. Advait, let me know whatever it is. I am very happy to know your results. I know your exams are only not conducted na other boards. What to do, beta? Can't help. Some of you all are happy about it, but some of you all are, like, अरे यार 2 साल मेहनत की थी यार, ये क्या है ना? So sometimes you feel very dejected that I was completely prepared and I couldn't, prove myself. You have already proven. Okay, you are giving very good answers. So your answers itself shows that you had prepared your basics very nicely. Yeah, they never go waste. And you all have, like, whatever I ask you now, you all answer so nicely. So it's okay. Even if that examination is not going to be conducted, you have proved yourself that you had prepared because you all are giving very nice answers. So I'll congratulate all of you all so that we can celebrate together. Na? That matters. Okay, fine, my dear. So where was I? Huh. So here, the nucleus is one of the cell organelles. Similarly, you will be having endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complexes, lysosomes, है ना? Spherosomes, microbodies, chloroplast, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया, ये जो सारे ऑर्गेनल्स है ना बेटा, इनके ऊपर भी ये सेम प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन का कवरिंग होता है. ये जितने भी मैंने ऑर्गेनल्स के नाम लिए हैं ना, दे ऑल विल बी हैविंग दिस प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन. सो आवर मेन प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन इज गोइंग टू बी ऑफ कोर्स प्रेजेंट to control the shape and size of the cell. But inside the cell, whatever number of cell organelles will be present, all will be having a wrapping around it. All will be having this cell membrane ka wrapping around it. Nucleus also, yes, nucleus also. All will be having cell membrane wrapped around it. So this is something which is generally, like not known to us. We generally don't know. हमें पता है कि न्यूक्लियस होता है, न्यूक्लियस का आउटर मेम्ब्रेन है, न्यूक्लियस का इनर मेम्ब्रेन है ना? Correct? Yeah, they will. So, very nice question. But see, what is it? I'll tell you the fact today. Okay, I'll be going ahead eventually, not immediately. Though I feel like I should teach you everything very fast and very interestingly. But still, I'll tell you everything. Like एक बहुत important वाली कहानी आज बता रही हूँ तुम्हें. That what is the role of oxygen? People are dying because of oxygen. There is lack of oxygen supply. Oxygen cylinders were not available, so there were many people who suffered in this pandemic and whatever. So, what is the role of oxygen? What is the role of oxygen in our body? Oxidizing glucose, respiration. Yes, okay, fine. What do you mean by the word oxidation? Chemistry, come on, try your chemistry. What do you mean by oxidation? Anyone who would tell me what is oxidation? Very good. Who's this? Pushkar. Yes. Yes. Breakdown of food, okay. Kanak, very good. Then Vaishnavi, okay, fine. Breaking down is okay. Something more. Combination of oxygen, okay. Oxygen will be used. Loss of electrons, okay. Chalo. Basically, yes, loss of electrons. Very nice. Who's this Dia? Very good. I want this answer only. Very good, Dia. Very good. Very good, Siddhika. I want this answer. Yes. So it is either addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen, which we call it as oxidation. Agreed? Agreed, na? Now, this particular entire breakdown of food, entire, when we say oxidation of food, this entire breakdown of food में है ना ऑक्सीजन कुछ काम का ही नहीं है. वो जो ऑक्सीडेशन 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 हम लोग वर्ड यूज करते हैं ना बेटा, इट इज एसोसिएटेड विद रिमूवल ऑफ हाइड्रोजन एंड नॉट एडिशन ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. देन व्हाई आर वी सो मच स्ट्रिंजेंट अबाउट दिस ऑक्सीजन? व्हाई आर वी सो मच इनटू इट कि यार ऑक्सीजन चाहिए, ऑक्सीजन चाहिए, ऑक्सीजन के बगैर कुछ नहीं होगा, जबकि कहीं पर भी ऑक्सीजन का रोल नहीं है. आई विल प्रूव इट. I will prove this point that oxidation of food does not involve oxygen anywhere in that particular cycle. I'll prove this. And I'll also prove this, then why oxygen is so important to us. Not today, in the chapter called as respiration. Okay, fine. थोड़ा suspense बनाए रखना होता है. Anyways, come over here. So, inside each cell membrane, dense membrane bound structure would be present, which would be called as nucleus. Similarly, all your organelles will be having a wrapping of cell membrane, plasma membrane, as we say. This nucleus contains chromosome, which in turn contains the genetic material. That's going to be your DNA. So we know the DNA is safeguarded inside the nucleus, right? It's going to be the genetic material which will be passed on from one generation to the next via or through something called as gametes. Okay, so the gametes would contain the DNA which will then be passed on to the next generation only after the event of fertilization. Okay? Okay. Cells that have membrane bound nuclei are called as eukaryotic cells, whereas cells that lack a membrane bound nuclei would be called as prokaryotic cells. So if the nucleus is going to have a nuclear membrane, then only that cell would be called as eukaryotic. And if the nucleus does not have a membrane, it actually won't be even called as nucleus. Okay, it is going to be called as your genetic material which is freely suspended in the cytoplasm of the cell. Such type of cells would be called as prokaryotic cells. So what is the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic? Eukaryotic are those which are going to be having a nucleus surrounded by a membrane, that is your cell membrane, while prokaryotes do not have a well organized nucleus. Cell membrane is definitely absent, and the nuclear material, that's going to be the DNA, is going to be scattered inside the cytoplasm of that particular cell. Okay, so this is the difference between eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. Any difficulty in the overview of the cell wala slide? Anyone who want me to explain any point or any difficulty that you feel? No, na? Okay, good. So now we have to talk about the two types of cells, pro and eu. Okay. There's a window which is popping. I'll just pause the sharing for a moment and I'll reshare it because that window, if it pops, now it irritates me a lot. So, yeah. Well, so in prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, a semi-fluid matrix called as cytoplasm occupies the volume of the cell. Of course, the cell is not empty. The cell is not empty, right? It is going to have what? A semi-fluid matrix. We call it as semi-fluid. It's not, like free-flowing also, and it's not very stiff also. Okay? Is only membrane-bound nuclei characteristic of no, it is one of the characteristics and one of the major characteristics. Okay, a matrix means okay, I'll tell you what is a matrix. Okay, fine. Yeah, it is jelly like basically, but what is a matrix? I'll tell you. Have you all ever seen or have you all eaten bundi ka laddu? बुंदी का लड्डू खाया है? हाँ, तो ये जो बूंदी होती है ना बेटा, इंडिविजुअल एक एक सिंगल यूनिट बूंदी, उसको इकट्ठा करके हमें एक लड्डू बनाना होता है. तो उसको इकट्ठा चिपकाने के लिए, उसको इकट्ठा बांधने के लिए, टू मेक दैट फॉर्म ऑफ अ लड्डू, व्हाट यू रिक्वायर, व्हाट इज देयर इनसाइड दैट विल स्टिक एवरीथिंग टुगेदर? वेरी गुड, एग्जैक्टली, शुगर सिरप. शुगर सिरप, चाशनी कहते हैं हम लोग उसको. व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज चाशनी, शुगर सिरप, है ना। जितना गाढ़ा रहेगा ना शुगर सिरप, उतना वो लड्डू कड़क बन जाएगा। जितना शुगर सिरप लिक्विड रहेगा ना, उतना वो सॉफ्ट होगा। हाँ या ना? या यू कैन इवन ऐड जैगरी। या so you can add melted jaggery, you can add sugar, but generally you require someone who will keep the bundis held together, right? Correct. So that particular one which is going to keep the things bound together, which will keep all the bundis together, will be called as the matrix. Okay. Yes, exactly. So this is the, actual one who will keep them together. Like for example, if you eat gulab jamuns, that sugar syrup in which the gulab jamuns are swimming can also be called as matrix. Okay, those which are going to keep all of them, together, swimming inside it. But actual matrix का मतलब होता है ये sugar syrup of the laddus which bring the bundis together, something like that. Okay, got it? What is the matrix? Yeah. So in our cells also there is going to be a matrix. और जैसे बूंदियां एक साथ चिपके चिपके रहते हैं ना, वैसे ही एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम, गोल्गी apparatus, लाइसोसोम्स, स्फेरोसोम्स, पेरोक्सिसोम्स, और क्या मतलब whatever, वो सारी चीजें जो है ना, वो एक दूसरे से ऐसी कनेक्टेड रहती है सेल के अंदर. Okay, got it? Yeah. The cytoplasm is the main arena of cellular activities in both plant and animal cells. Main arena means main unit, the area where actual all the metabolic activities are going to take place is going to be your cytoplasm. Yes, it's going to have enzymes as well. Yes, cytoplasm is going to have enzymes as well. Okay. Various chemical reactions occur in it to keep the cell in the living state. So the cells have to be in the living state, right? So there are many chemical reactions, which are your metabolic reactions, catabolism and anabolism, continuously taking place inside the living cell. Inside the living cell. Besides the nucleus, the eukaryotic cells have other membrane-bound, distinct structures called as organelles, like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, mitochondria, microbodies, vacuoles, etc. Yes, beta. So you're right. Right now, understood? So just like nucleus will be surrounded by a plasma membrane, in the same way, even there would be other cell organelles which also will be having a cell membrane around it. It may be a single membrane, it could be two membranes. Like in case of nucleus, it has got two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. Similarly, mitochondria, two membranes. Chloroplast, two membranes. I'll talk about it. Okay. Now, the prokaryotic cells lack such membrane-bound organelles. So your eukaryotic cells along with the nucleus would have all these cell organelles, while prokaryotic cell would not have any of these. Nothing. Okay. Ribosomes are non-membrane bound organelles found in all cells, both prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic. Now these ribosomes are structures which will not have a membrane around it. It won't have a membrane around it. Therefore, it is a common structure present in both prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes. Okay? It is not an organelle. Ribosome cannot be considered as an organelle because it does not have a cell membrane wrapped on it. So they are saying non-membrane bound. Again, a favorite question of examiners, which is a common structure found in both prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. And your answer is definitely going to be ribosomes. Okay? Clear? Then what is it made up of? अगर राइबोसोम के ऊपर मेम्ब्रेन नहीं है, सेल मेम्ब्रेन, प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन नहीं है, तो व्हाट इज इट मेड अप ऑफ? सो माय डियर्स, इट इज गोइंग टू बी मेड अप ऑफ आरएनए एंड प्रोटीन. किससे बनता है आपका ये राइबोसोम? आरएनए से और प्रोटीन से. ओके, या व्हाट्स योर डाउट? They have extra chromosome, prokaryotes? Not necessary. They have got a single chromosome, one large single circular chromosome. Okay. What is ribosome का function? Protein synthesis. Yeah, rRNA is ribosomal RNA. You're right there. Yeah. Role of rRNA, I'll talk about it. When I'll teach you all RNA, na, I'll tell you all what is rRNA, what is mRNA, what is tRNA. All three I'll explain in detail for you all. Okay? When I talk about RNA. Yeah, Pushkar, you're right. Yeah, right. Okay. So here, what are we going to understand? Ribosomes do not come under cell organelles. They are common structures present in prokaryotic cells as well as eukaryotic cells. Got it? Within the cell, ribosomes are found not only in the cytoplasm, but along with the cytoplasm, they also are going to be present inside two organelles, that is mitochondria and chloroplast, along with endoplasmic reticulum. So see, chloroplast only in plants, right? And mitochondria in both plants and animals. And it's also going to be present on ER, नॉट इनसाइड ईआर, ऑन सरफेस के ऊपर रहेंगे कौन, राइबोसोम्स. ठीक है, तो अगर ये एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम है तो ये सरफेस के ऊपर है ना बेटा, ये ऐसे चिपके हुए रहते हैं राइबोसोम्स, जिसके वजह से हम आर एंड एस बोलते हैं. रफ एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम, स्मूथ एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम. रफ बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रेजेंस ऑफ दीज राइबोसोम्स. ओके, गॉट इट. हाँ, what's your doubt, beta? Shahnaz, what are you asking? Something messenger mRNA transfer. Yeah. Perfectly right. So perfectly right. We have got messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA, and transfer RNA, which we'll be talking about when I teach you RNA. Yeah, ribosomes are made up of proteins and RNA. Ribosomes are made up of proteins and RNA. Which proteins, how many number of proteins, how many number of RNAs, which are the different types of RNAs, everything I'll be teaching you all in this chapter only eventually. Okay. Yes, but that is going to be later on. That is a part of your 12th standard syllabus, that how exactly protein synthesis takes place via these ribosomes. हम एक्चुअली राइबोसोम को है ना प्रोटीन फैक्ट्री के नाम से जानते हैं. वी कॉल देम एज प्रोटीन फैक्ट्रीज. So how that particular ribosome will be associated in making the proteins, na? Very beautiful mechanism. Most interesting chapter of genetics, 12th standard. Okay, बोलने के लिए 12th standard है, आपको एक साल रुकना नहीं पड़ेगा, हो ही जाएगा, अपना सिलेबस नेक्स्ट ईयर खत्म हो जाएगा. So बोलने के लिए it is 12th standard. Okay. Mitochondria is energy factory. Yes, correct. Perfect. Yeah. Any difficulty in this particular slide? Anyone who wants me to explain any point not understood by anyone? Or can I move ahead? Easy? Okay. Animal cell contains another non-membrane bound organelle, which is going to be called as centriole, which helps in cell division. Okay. Who? Oh, very nice, Niyar. Niyar, congrats, my dear. So nice. So, see, I'm taking मैं आज बायो का लेक्चर ले रही हूँ. कौन से अच्छे मुहूर्त पे ले रही हूँ देखो. Niyar has also got 19 bio. Oh my God, great. Congrats. Very nice. Excellent. So, yes. Seriously, I mean, the entire team of masterclass, which includes all the students also now. You all are also a part of our family now, right? So, yeah, IGCSE board, beta. So, we all together, we congratulate all the students who have scored very nicely in their examinations. Okay, very good, excellent. Okay, so yeah, animal cells contain another non-membrane bound. Non-membrane bound. Okay, what is that non-membrane means? It won't have a wrapping of plasma membrane over it, and that organelle will be called as centriole, which helps in cell division. Yes, my dear, you are very correct. So centriole will duplicate during the cell division, mitosis, meiosis. पढ़ाऊंगी, टेंशन मत लेना, मैं हूं ना. So that time I'll tell you all that where exactly the centriole will be and how it is going to move to the opposite directions. Yes. Perfect. Yes, Vaishnavi, you're right, beta. Okay. So along with the ribosomes, which are non-membrane bound, animal cells will be having one more non-membrane bound organelle, which will be called as centriole. Okay. Yes. So you're right. Cells differ greatly in size, shape, activities. You know this. Among multicellular organisms, human red blood cell is about 7 mu meters in diameter. Cells also vary greatly in shape. It may be disc-like, polygonal, columnar, cuboid, thread-like, or even irregular. The shape of the cell may vary with the function they perform. Of course, yeah, ours, RBCs are biconcave, right? Human RBCs. So that's all with your general overview of the cell. Any difficulty in understanding till whatever I have explained just now? Anyone who has not followed any part? Easy? It is an easy chapter, actually. Then there is something called as totipotency. Now, this word is not mentioned in your NCRT textbooks, but it is going to be asked in your examinations. So, understand what is totipotency. It is the capacity or the potential of living nucleated cell. Now, this is the question, beta. Okay, to make this sentence incorrect, na, they will make it as non-nucleated, or they'll not give the word nucleated. They'll only say living cell. It has to be a nucleated cell. So it is the capacity or the potential of living nucleated cell to differentiate and divide to form any other type of cell and thereby complete new organism. So nowadays we have got tissue culture techniques. Have you heard about this? And in human beings we call it as cell lines. We call it as cell lines or tissue cultures. Now what happens in this? I don't know if you all are aware of this or not. So I'll just try to explain you what is totipotency. Yes, excellent. Yes, excellent. Right? So stem cells. Heard about this word stem cells? Yes, correct, correct, correct. Pluripotency or totipotency. Correct. What are these stem cells? Stem cells are something which are totipotent in nature. That means if you have preserved the stem cells, when can we preserve the stem cells? It is only going to be preserved after the delivery of the child. So only it is going to be collected from the umbilical cord blood after the birth of the child. So see, the infant or the fetus, as we say, is going to be connected. Yes, is going to be connected with the umbilical cord with the mother, maternal placenta. Okay. Now, when the child has to be, at the time of birth, when the child has to be separated from the mother, they cut this umbilical cord. Correct. Now, after cutting the umbilical cord, of course, it's going to be your vascular, tissue. So it's going to be loaded with blood. So when we cut the umbilical cord, what will happen, beta? What will happen? Blood will lose out, right? This blood has to be collected. This cord blood, umbilical cord blood, has to be collected. Fine. That will be collected by the doctors only. Okay. And then these vials, we call them as vials. They are small test tube like, structures which are going to have covering. These blood vials will be preserved, okay, under liquid nitrogen condition, that is minus 176 degrees Celsius. It will be stored over there. Okay. For around 100 years, they take some charge. They charge you. So you have to pay it one time charge and yearly charges, just like your bank pay accounts hote hai na वैसे. And you have to just renew the amount. Nominal amount है, बहुत ज़्यादा amount नहीं होती है उसकी. And they will preserve it for you for hundreds of years. Okay. And from that particular umbilical cord blood, which will be having stem cells present in it, anytime the mother or the child और their siblings, मतलब एक बच्चे के बर्थ के टाइम पे अगर कलेक्ट करके रखा है, उसके बाद let the female have 2 children, 3 children, doesn't matter. Everyone can use the same blood, like that stem cells for growing a new organ altogether. So if at all, God forbid, but if anyone requires any transplant to be done in that particular, person, the main problem is donors. The donors and the recipient के tissues don't match नहीं होते, बोलते हैं ना incompatible है. So unless and until it is like, for example, kidney transplant, generally you might have heard about the kidney transplants wherein the donors have to be relatives, and especially mother can donate to the, her child, or the child can donate to the mother and father. There is no matching ka problem, right? While it's very rare to have some other third party person having, a matching kidney. It's a very rare thing to happen. So in that case, what can the person, if he has saved the, umbilical cord blood, what will be an added benefit? There is no tension of, yeah, red bone marrow. Yes. So there is no tension of a donor. मेरे खुद के ब्लड सेल्स सेव्ड है. मैं, अगर मुझे ट्रांसप्लांटेशन की जरूरत है, तो आई कैन यूज दैट 1 ml of blood collected is around 15-20 ml of blood. I require only 1 ml of blood, और उसमें से I can grow a completely new kidney. I means I can't, the technologist would do it for me, right? And then there is no question of, organ matching, nothing. मेरे खुद के ही cells से बनाया हुआ है. So immediately, the transplantation becomes very easy. Yes, yeah. Curing this, yes, but yes. Organ transplantation. Okay. Henna? Yeah, that is very good. I mean, nowadays you get these, in Mumbai also we have got these labs who store this umbilical cord blood. But when my son was born, Mumbai did not have any lab. Chennai had. So I had, I have saved this umbilical cord blood, but it's in Chennai ka blood bank. I mean, they have got, only it was in Chennai that time, almost like 15 years before. So yeah, almost your age, right? Correct. Yeah. So that is what is going to be, useful eventually if required. We don't know. That time it was very costly. Now it is not that costly. So it's better always. So what is totipotency going to help in? Totipotency is going to help in complete new organism ka development. Not only the organ, but even the entire organism can be formed. A cell is totipotent because it has the entire genetic information of the organism in its nucleus. So every cell is going to have nucleus, and every nucleus is going to have the genetic material. So whatever information is required to make a new organ or organism is already readily available inside the nucleus. Okay. So no other organ is required, only blood. Yeah, only blood. And that too umbilical cord blood. So after the delivery, when the child is going to be separated from the mother, only that time. I'll tell you. Wait, better. Yes. I'll tell you, Vaishnavi. So I'll tell you. Don't worry. Yeah. So embryonic animal cells are totipotent, and they are termed as what? They are termed as stem cells. What are they called as? Stem cells. So ये जो stem cells होते हैं ना, ये stem cells regenerate हम करा सकते हैं. Stem cells have a great medical applications, including cure for diseases like Alzheimer's. And what is Alzheimer's? What is totipotent? Capacity to differentiate and divide and form entire new organ or organism. That is called as totipotent. And the phenomenon is called as totipotency. Mm. Yeah, you can collect the blastocyst stage also. Yes. Yeah, we can. But it is against the law. It is not going to be, laws are not going to permit the formation of new individuals in total. Okay. Yes. So that is about therapeutic cloning. Yeah, therapeutic cloning is going to be there. Correct. Okay. So where are we? Stem cells have a great applications in medical industry. Okay. Fine. Then we come to the next one, of course. Yeah. So someone was asking me something about what? Pluripotent. हाँ, pluripotent का मतलब होता है बेटा, the cells will be in the capacity to form the three germinal layers. The three germinal layers, that is endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm, and then differentiate into the required format. And totipotent means it could be directly giving rise to that particular organ. Like for example, heart is mesodermal in origin. So directly the heart can be made using the totipotent cells. Nothing else. Okay, and refer to the same thing. Cloning is something different. Something different. Cloning is making same copies of one particular group of cells. That is cloning. Okay. On the basis of nuclear organisms, organization, cells are classified into two types, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. The prokaryotes have simple cellular organization, while eukaryotes exhibit high degree of organization. Term prokaryote and eukaryote was coined by Von Neal. Who gave this? Von Neal. Now I have put this over here because it was asked. Okay. So who gave the term prokaryote and eukaryote, or who coined the term prokaryote and eukaryote? Von Neal. Okay, got it? Now, basically, they are saying they have simple cellular organization. So, if we consider this, just understand the basic view of this. That is, there is a huge hall, fine, without any walls in between. There's a huge hall without any walls in between, right? It's going to be a simple organization. कुछ नहीं है, एक सिर्फ हॉल है, उसमें कहीं पर भी वॉल नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, एक बड़ा सा हॉल है। और अगर उस बड़े से हॉल में मैंने वॉल्स डाले, उस बड़े से हॉल में मैंने वॉल्स डाले, तो व्हाट आई वुड डू, ये जो दो वॉल्स के बीच का जो एरिया है, दिस विल बी कॉल्ड एज किचन। ये जो वॉल डाला, तो दिस विल बी नाउ कॉल्ड एज bedroom. This is going to be the living room. This is going to be the dining room, and so on. So hall without wall, hall without wall is simple, and hall with wall is complex. Get me? So hall without wall is prokaryote, and hall with wall is eukaryote. Is it fine? Got this? So basic difference kya hai beta? There are no walls in between the way eukaryotic cells will be having. And what are these walls going to be called as? These walls are going to be your demarked area, called as this is nucleus, this is endoplasmic reticulum, this is Golgi complex. जैसे हम बनाते हैं ना अपने घर पे, ये हमारा लिविंग रूम है, ये हमारा बेडरूम है, ये हमारा किचन है, ये हमारा डाइनिंग रूम है। अगर ये सारे वॉल्स निकाल दोगे तो वो एक सिंगल हॉल बन जाएगा ना, समथिंग लाइक दैट वे। तो prokaryotic cells do not have these demarcations in between. They're going to have only the cell cytoplasm, and they're going to have free DNA suspended in the cytoplasm attached to the membrane. Okay, so ये prokaryotic cells के क्या structure होते हैं, how is it actually going to be, right? How is it actually going to be, is going to be something that we have to study in detail. Okay na? Yeah, yes Sanika, you're right, you're right. Okay, हाँ, hall and wall थोड़ा match होता है ना, rhythm. Okay, fine. So we are going to talk about the first one, that is the most simplest form, that is prokaryotic cell. Okay, lesser, yes, yes. So here you can see a prokaryotic cell. In cell, the first we are going to talk about the prokaryotic cell, primitive type. Pro means primitive, carry-on means nucleus, primitive nucleus wala, and U means true. So true nucleus and primitive nucleus. Carry on का मतलब होता है बेटा nucleus, हाँ? Remember this. Carry on is nucleus. Correct. So the cell in prokaryote has a chemically complex protective cell envelope. So they are very simple internally. So कुछ तो complex होना चाहिए ना इनमें. तो complex क्या है? The walls. External, not internal. तो जो हॉल के 4 वॉल्स बांधे हुए हैं ना, वो एकदम मस्त तगड़े हैं, ठीक है? करेक्ट? हाँ, प्रो मीन्स प्रिमिटिव बेटा, प्रो मीन्स प्रिमिटिव, एंड कैरी ऑन मीन्स न्यूक्लियस, एंड यूकैरियोट में EU, यू मीन्स ट्रू, ट्रू न्यूक्लियस, एंड दिस इज प्रिमिटिव न्यूक्लियस, ठीक है? However, it does not have a well-defined nucleus, and it does not have any membrane-bound cell organelles. A typical cell is classified into 3 parts: cell envelope, cytoplasm, and a nucleus which is not very well developed. So prokaryotic cells are so simple. See, they don't have anything complex. What do they have? They have got cell envelope. So envelope है मतलब थोड़ा सा कुछ ना कुछ multi layered होना चाहिए, है ना? Yes, so it's going to be three layered actually. I'll talk about it. Second would be cytoplasm, and third would be the nucleus. Nothing else, right? हाँ, open hole है ये. Exactly, ये open hole है. कुछ इसमें गड़बड़ है नहीं. Nothing. First, we talk about the cell envelope. Plant has got three layers in its envelope. The cell envelope consists of a tightly bound three-layered structure that is outermost glycocalyx, followed by cell wall, followed by plasma membrane. So outermost glycocalyx है, फिर cell wall है, फिर plasma membrane है. ठीक है, ऐसे तीन लेयर वॉल है ये प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल की. ठीक है, तो ये देखो, you can see. No, it is prokaryote. It's a misprint. Okay, it's a prokaryote. So here you can see ये blue color का structure दिख रहा है आपको outermost. हाँ, this outermost structure is going to be your glycocalyx. These pinkish color के structure या whatever beige color के structures जो दिख रहे हैं ना, that's going to be your plasma membrane. That is going to be your cell wall. And ये जो brown color का ऐसा folded structure दिख रहा है, can you see the invaginations? That is the folding. This brown color का structure will be your plasma membrane. So glycocalyx, cell wall, plasma membrane. Now tell me very truly, beta, one thing. Please tell me very truly. If I ask you, what is the cell wall made up of? What would be your answer? Come on, tell me. The, the cell wall of prokaryotes will be made up of. Huh. Okay, fine. I'm getting the answers. Give whatever you know, you give the answers. The cell wall of bacteria, prokaryote means bacteria, okay, will be made up of. Go ahead. Answer. Even if it is wrong, it's okay. I don't mind. I just want you all to answer. No, it's not glycocalyx. Okay. Yeah. Two answers are correct answers till now. Two answers are correct answers. Rest all have given me cellulose. 99% of the students have given me cellulose. But the real answer is peptidoglycan. Okay. So what do you mean by this word peptido and glycan? Peptido means something associated with peptide, means something associated with amino acid, and glycan means something associated with glucose or sugars. So my dears, this is the difference. What happens in our dimag na from our bachpan ka time? What is fit in our dimag? Cell wall bolega to cellulose. Cell wall means cellulose. हाँ बेटा, cell wall means cellulose, but for plant cells, not for bacterial cell. So bacterial cell will be having what? A cell wall, but not made up of cellulose. It is made up of something called as पेप्टिडोग्लाइकैन. So what is पेप्टिडोग्लाइकैन बताऊंगी. तो ये पेप्टिडोग्लाइकैन के सेल वॉल के लेयर के बाहर होता है ग्लाइकोकैलिक्स, अंदर होता है सेल मेम्ब्रेन. ठीक है. Outside the cell wall is going to be the glycocalyx. Inside the cell wall will be the cell membrane. Did you all understand how the three layers are going to be? Second thing is glycocalyx is optional. Not every prokaryotic cell is going to have a glycocalyx. It's not like that way. It may be present, it may be absent. Okay? But peptidoglycan ka cell wall is by default present in each and every prokaryotic cell. Fine? So let us talk about the first wall, that is glycocalyx. See, most prokaryotic cells, most, we are not saying all. Select the incorrect statement among the following. All prokaryotic cells, particularly bacterial cells, have a chemically complex cell envelope. Wrong statement. It is not all, it is most. Matlab, there would be some which would not have. Okay? Although each layer of the envelope performs distinct functions, they act together as a single protective unit. Glycocalyx differs in composition and thickness among different bacteria. It could be loose sheath. That would be called as slime layer. While in some of the prokaryotic cells, it could be a tight and tough covering, which would be called as a capsule. So glycocalyx is generally going to be made up of polysaccharides. What are polysaccharides? Sugars. है ना? So glycocalyx predominantly would be made of sugars. Of course, different types of sugars. So I'm just saying polysaccharides depending upon the organisms. And then it is going to have this glycocalyx either loosely arranged on the cell wall or it would be tightly arranged on the cell wall. If it is loosely arranged, it will be called a slime layer. And if it is going to be tightly around, it will be called as a capsule. Okay. Cell envelope will be having three layers, beta. So cell envelope is nothing but the three layered structure which functions together as a protective unit is going to be called as cell envelope. Okay, got it? So envelope will be containing three layers. The first one is going to be the glycocalyx, which is optional, not compulsory. Okay, beta? Yes, yes. So that is your glycocalyx. Cell wall is going to be the second one. The cell wall determines the shape of the cell and provides a strong structural support to prevent the bacterium from bursting or collapsing. So it's going to give a rigidity, it's going to give a support. Cell wall of bacteria and cyanobacteria is made up of peptidoglycan. Okay. What is cyanobacteria? Cyanobacteria is also called as blue-green algae. They are also going to be your bacteria only, though we call them as blue-green algae. So the next chapters that I'm going to talk about will include the cyanobacteria as well. Okay. So that is going to be your cell wall. Cell wall is mandatory. No organism will be without a cell wall. No prokaryotic cell will be without a cell wall. Is it fine? So you understood the outermost covering. उसके अंदर सेल वॉल का कवरिंग, उसके अंदर है ना बेटा सेल मेम्ब्रेन है, लेकिन सेल मेम्ब्रेन को थोड़ा डिटेलिंग लगेगा करने के लिए, थोड़ा एलोबरेट फॉर्म में हमें करना पड़ेगा. So for today's lecture, I'll stop at cell wall. In the next class, we'll go ahead with the cell membrane and see what is going to be beyond the cell membrane, internal structure of prokaryotic cell. Fine. So till now, whatever I have explained, have you all understood it? Cell wall in no. Cell wall is freely permeable. Cell wall is freely permeable. Okay. Okay, my dears. So thank you so much. See you all on, I guess on Friday we have got a class. Yeah. So see you all on Friday with the next content of it. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a very nice day. Enjoy yourself. And those who have cleared their examinations with so beautiful marks and, you know, I'm very happy about it. Again, I congratulate all of you all and enjoy your day. Okay. Bye. See you all. Take care.